Hey, beautiful soul. Welcome to The Cosmic Catch-Up. I'm Corri.
And I'm Dana. We're real-life sisters who said no thanks to the 9-to-5 grind and yes, please, to the stars, spirit, and soul-led living.
Around here, we're talking ascension, astrology, human design, sound healing, and the messy magic of waking up.
So if you've ever thought, there's got to be more than this, you're our people. Two sisters, deep talks, whole lot of magic. Let's catch up.
Okay, here we are. Hi, guys.
I'm on a little bit of a low energy today. We're gonna give it a try though.
Yeah, and it's cloudy out today, which it feels like a cozy day, even though it's still it's 80s, which is cooler for
July in Texas.
But it's a sleepy kind of weather.
It is a sleepy weather. Like, I don't mind cloudy days when there's actual rain. Like, we had a rain yesterday and the day before. I like a good thunderstorm. I do like that. But when it's cloudy and not raining, and I could be at the pool.
I know. It was going to be a pool day for us, which is a bummer. But
yeah, then I get sort of like, wah, wah.
Yeah. Well, I have a story for you.
Ooh, tell me a story.
So this is very relevant based on our previous podcast. So This is so weird, and I'm still trying to make sense of it. Okay, so 2:20 this morning, I wake up. I am woken up.
Okay.
Now, I do remember the dream that I was having right before had been woken up it was very strange, but basically someone was going to kill me.
Oh dear.
But I knew it, and so I was trying to stop them, but then I was jolted awake. Can you guess how I was jolted awake?
No, did someone shock you?
No. Music started playing, like hard rock music, like music I don't ever listen to.
What?
And it sounded a little like AC/DC. And I sat up, and because I thought my husband's phone went off, like music was playing. No. Oh. Again, it was literally 2:20 in the morning, and I looked around, but I could hear, it was like faint, and I could hear the electric guitar. I could hear like a low, almost like a voice singing, but I couldn't make out the words. And so today, all I could think about is that song, is it Thunderstruck or from AC/DC? And I was like, was that the song? So I laid, and it played for, let's call it 5 minutes. I was laying there, and I just basically said to my team, I said, what are you trying to tell me? And I didn't get an answer, and I thought, were you just trying to jar me out of this because you knew I was going to be murdered in my dream, and you wanted to wake me out of that? I don't know, but
it's wild.
It was the strangest thing. I've had classical music, I've had country music, but it's typically right when I go to bed, not literally jarred out of sleep in the middle of the night or early in the morning. And I didn't have to go to the bathroom. It was like all of a sudden I could hear it, and I'm going, what is happening?
That's wild.
It was kind of crazy. So anyway, I just thought I'd share.
Yeah. Well, I like that story. I like a good dream share, and there are some who believe, and I do for the most part, that the dream world is the astral plane. Mm-hmm. And you could be visiting parallel lives, and you might have been in a parallel life where you were going to die, and your team and angels were like, no, put your focus back on this life.
Yeah.
Let's not focus on that life.
Wow. And it was weird because it was almost like I was helping, and it was not a person. Mm-hmm. It was like a creature.
Okay.
But the creature was being super nice, but I knew that I was like, they're going to turn on me. But I was helping this creature. And they had this knife behind their back, and they go, but I'm bigger than this creature. So when they went to pull it out, and I was like, oh no. And we started struggling, and that's when I was jarred awake. So yes, I think something was going on.
That's crazy.
And by the way, it's like, I don't know where that came from.
Yeah, no.
It was, again, totally random. And that's where I think sometimes it's easier to put yourself in. This was another dimension or another time, because it's like this. It wasn't from TV. It wasn't from a book. Like, it wasn't from anywhere. So I'm like, it was strange.
You were battling demons.
I was
in the astral plane,
or something weird. So anyway,
crazy.
Yeah, but AC/DC woke me up.
Well, all right. Thank you to AC/DC for bringing you back.
Yeah. So here I am today. It was just wild, since we had been recently talking about
all that,
our teams, and hearing things and whatnot. So there you go.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And really crazy.
Crazy. So how about some astrology? Anything you want to share?
Few updates this week. Yeah. So on the 22nd, we started Leo season. So happy birthday to all the Leos out there.
And my husband's a
We've
Leo.
got several Leos in our lives that we just love and adore. I love that energy. Some of my favorite.
Yep.
We also have, I'm wearing my glasses today so I can look at my notes. We have our new moon in Leo on the 24th, and that's at 2 degrees of Leo. So if you have any early degree Leo placements, this moon will be particularly potent for you. But we're all going to enjoy that beautiful new moon energy. And we're going to talk about today some new moon rituals you can do.
And what should you focus on for new moons?
New moons are often about planting seeds, setting intentions, putting your manifestations out there. Those are all great things to do for new moons. So if we think about the new moon itself, it's dark. It's the darkest. The sky can be, yes, there's stars, but we don't have the light of the moon on a new moon. And if you think about what creation stems from, it usually stems from the dark. So we've talked about this, like the womb is dark, and then there's life brought forth from it. If you think about creation, however you believe the universe came into being, it doesn't really matter, but there was always darkness, and then something happened to interrupt the darkness. So that darkness of the new moon is where we plant our seeds for creation and manifestation.
Wonderful. So we are talking about rituals today. We love a good ritual.
I do love a good ritual.
And as a matter of fact, we'll talk a little bit about the ritual we do before our podcast.
Yeah.
'Cause we do a ritual.
I love it. We do.
So let's talk about what even is a ritual. What does that mean? Because people are always like, that's like voodoo or woo-woo or
Magic. Witchcraft.
Yeah. So what's a ritual? They throw that word around a lot.
Yeah. How do you define it?
Well, I think about a ritual as basically doing something with intention.
I like it. Simple definition.
Yeah. It's usually something spiritual or energetic with the purpose, because you might say, well, what's the difference between a ritual and a habit, right?
Yeah, habit or routine. I love a good routine.
You love a routine, which is also in your human design.
Mm-hmm.
But a ritual is considered very sacred.
Okay.
And so even if it's super simple, like when we set our space for our podcast, it's still considered very sacred. And it is a connection to whether our teams, our higher self, God's source spirit. It could be talking, working with angels. So anyway, the intention is that there is intention when you're doing this ritual. Okay. So
I like it.
how is that different than a routine?
Yeah, I want to know.
You love a routine.
I do love a routine. I think of a routine as kind of like it's my habit or my plan.
Mm-hmm.
It's something I kind of do automatically. Like I know. Consistently.
Mm-hmm.
This is the thing.
Mm-hmm.
So my routine is I get up in the morning and I meditate. And then I do some kind of exercise. And then I do my stretches. And then I eat breakfast. Like that's kind of my plan of the day or my habit, or it's sort of the automatic things that I do. And I don't have to really think about them.
But your meditation could be a ritual.
My meditation is a ritual, yes. And I would even go so far as to say making my latte while a routine is also a ritual, because I set some intention around it's my favorite part of the day, and I set some intention around and do blessings on the actual latte before I drink it. So there is a routine aspect to it, but also I turned it into a ritual.
I think that's a really good point, because even eating food, just dining could be because we set intention and blessings around the food versus just chowing down,
thoughtlessly eating versus, saying a prayer over the food, setting intention that it's nourishing my body, setting gratitude for it, and the gratitude for maybe the people that you get to share that meal with. Yeah. So then it can become a sacred space.
Rituals are moments that matter.
I like that. I think it brings us into the present moment versus, kind of the things we do automatically without thinking it. To your point, it's a moment that matters, that we've set our intention around, that we've brought our presence to.
Yeah, I love that. And I think it also rituals help set our frequency and ultimately try to lift that frequency through the different intentions that we set. And again, I think morning rituals, well, both morning and evening rituals are fantastic. And I was even sharing with a friend the other day, if you can do, we were talking about tapping, but even setting an intention before you go to work, because there's already this anticipation or anxiety that work is going to be a struggle. So how can you regulate your nervous system and prepare and go in with the best of intentions and higher frequency before getting caught up in whatever is going to show up that day?
Yeah. One of my rituals is, and I have lovely days now, so don't get me wrong. I don't struggle in my days, but I do still set the intention of, creating a bubble of light around me before I even get out of bed in the morning. I set those intentions so that I am in my own energy and I am protected from any energy that's not mine, that I don't have to get swept up in other people's energy. I can observe it and I can be a witness to it, but I don't have to feel it or experience it.
I do the same thing, but I also do it at night before I go to bed, because I know going into the astral plane, I want protection, and I do it for my entire family, but I put that bubble of protection around before we go to sleep.
Yeah.
So absolutely. Well, I think an example too, so we mentioned that we have a ritual before we do our podcast, which is, again, I think it's very important because our goal is to set the energy that we bring forward. We call on our team, our higher selves.
Yep.
We ask for, the right information to come in and to protect us and protect the electronics that we use and what we post on.
Yeah, so we want to set the intention for the highest vibration for the channels we use. So however you are consuming this media or social media that we share, we set the intention that it's reaching the right people and that there isn't any negative energy in those channels that could disrupt, what we're sharing and what the message is. We call in the light of source just around the space that we're in. So we set the intention around the space that we're sharing and talking and connecting in to really just, elevate that frequency as much as we can.
Yeah, which I love.
It's fun. It's beautiful.
Do it all the time. Well, and I think too, when you set intention with whatever ritual that you're doing, it's also saying that you're very serious, you're being very intentional, and you're available to connect, because again, we mentioned on even the angels or the spirit teams, no one's going to intercede on your behalf unless you ask. And so it also, when we set that ritual, it's asking them to come in, provide protection, provide guidance, and again, being very intentional about that.
Yeah, I agree. And I think to me, all rituals are a reminder for me that I am a piece of the divine, and it brings that divine frequency to everything that I'm doing. In that sense of like remembering my power and how empowered I am, because we have that God aspect within us, that we are creating our reality and we're creating that intention and we're creating that frequency. So it just, again, like I think you said earlier, it creates a sacred space and a sacred frequency to what you're doing.
I think it also allows us to take a beat, especially in the world today and how fast things are moving and how caught up we get in the daily drama, anxiety, whatever it is. When you can pause and be intentional about, how you're feeling, bringing those intentions forward, I think it resets the body, but it also it reminds you that there is a greater purpose than what you're stirring in for the day. I think it also provides your body with muscle memory. And so the more that you do it, the stronger your vibration gets, and then the bigger your aura gets. And so it just continues to expand. And not that things get easier, but I think that you will find you can be more at peace the more that you spend time in a ritual. And again, it can be very simple. It does not have to be elaborate. We'll talk specifically about some different rituals that we've done. But again, it can be as simple as putting a bubble of protection around you, asking your team and guides to be with you for the day, just acknowledging what you're trying to accomplish. And again, the more you do that, then the more I don't want to say build up. That sounds weird. But again, it's more like that frequency stays elevated versus the more of the yo-yo, I think that can occur.
Yeah. And to be clear, you don't have to do rituals.
Oh, no.
To remember your divine power.
No.
You don't have to do anything that we're going to talk about. If you don't vibe with it, cool. It's not for you. None of it is required. For me, I like to find and create magic in this world. I'm a big fantasy book reader, so I love magic. I love all those things.
I love magic too.
And these rituals help me experience and express and see magic in our world. And that just makes me happy and makes me smile. But it's not anything that you have to do. And to your point, you can turn anything into a ritual. It can be very simple. We're going to share some rituals that we've learned through our different groups, and kind of like magic and the intentions we have around them. But yeah, like it doesn't have to be. You don't have to do it, and it doesn't have to be hard.
Yeah, perfect. So we didn't talk about why we do it.
Oh yeah,
we talk about it raises the frequency.
Yeah.
But I think rituals can help with grounding.
Yes.
They can help with manifestation.
Clearing energy.
Releasing, letting go.
Healing.
Yeah.
All of those things. And I think it's a way of putting some tangibility around whatever your intention is. You don't need to do that, but we do still live in a physical world, at least for the time being, where we can touch and feel things, and bringing that spirituality or that spiritual intention into the physical space helps, I think, because we're a five senses kind of being, makes it more real. So I think, again, you could just set the intention with your mind and be done, or to make it your senses interact and make it feel more real is a way the rituals can help do that.
Yep. And even things simply as taking a salt bath, again, lighting a candle, preferably not one that's full of fake fragrance. That's toxic for you. But, just little things like that, I think, can also be very supportive and very grounding.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to jump into, maybe we start with some basic rituals, because there are rituals that you can do daily. There are rituals you can do for new moons. Dana just mentioned there's a new moon coming, so you can do new moon rituals, full moon rituals, eclipses,
portals
like
11/11, 8/8, 6/6. There's
a lot of
portals throughout the year.
And so you can do bigger rituals, and we actually have a group. We have a woo group, we like to call them, and we get together and we'll do rituals together. And those rituals can include things like different oils,
essential oils,
not
just like coconut oil, like essential oils.
As delicious as that is,
because each of those essential oils has a meaning behind it.
Yeah. You can do rituals with using Palo Santo, sage. Sage is great. Sage your house.
I think those are good for clearing space and clearing personal energy. Things I've learned about sage versus Palo Santo, and there's other burnables, we call them, that you can use in rituals. But with sage, it's going to clear out all the energy. So every piece of energy is going to be cleared out, including your own. So when you're using sage, let's say you want to clear your house or your space or even your person, you want to, at the same time as you're setting the intention to clear the energy, you also want to fill that energy back up with whatever you choose. So I'll sage my house, and I'm like, but with the intention that I am refilling my house with my energy, or with love, or with joy, or with peace, or with calming, or whatever that is. I set that intention with it. Now, Palo Santo specifically works to clear lower vibration and negative energy. So it's not getting rid of all the energy. It's just getting rid of anything lower or negative in your space. So that one to me is like, I don't really have to think about it. I'm just going to Palo Santo, and it's going to get rid of the negative energy. I don't have to like do any other additional thought with it. However, if you have a lot of people in your house, like if you had a party or lots of people over, it will keep the higher vibration of all those people. So you have to decide when you want to use each of those kind of burnables. And there's again, so many more out there. Tobacco is another burnable that you can use. And you can, again, find all of this stuff online. But, be clear with your intention when using those, because if you're saging without intention, anything can fill that space up.
I will just make a note. This is my own personal opinion, so do your research. But if you're trying to buy some of these things like on Amazon, I think they get a lot of things from like China. I would try to go to a shop. If you have, I'm sure there's a local shop, but investigate metaphysical shops.
Crystal shops will have all these.
Will have all of them. And I personally just think they're better quality. It doesn't mean that you can't get them. I've just heard recently, like the supplements, there's a scam about Amazon, they're fake supplements. So I just don't know how authentic some of these things are. So that's why I would just encourage you to try metaphysical shop, or a place that you can actually hold them and smell them and make sure that they're legit.
Yeah, that's a good tip for all of it.
But since we're on things that smell and burn, we also have incense. And you can get individual sticks of incense and burn those. This is actually, we've got incense going right now, and it's very potent. This burns in the smoke. It's beautiful. It's like a waterfall. It's a waterfall. It's like art while you're burning incense. So you could use incense, and there are different scents, different types, and types, and there's some to work with archangels, as we talked about the other week. So they're great. Crystals are
the gateway drug to metaphysical woo. It always starts with crystals. You buy a couple because they're pretty, and then you wear them, and then you're shoving them in your bra, you're
or your pockets,
or your pockets,
corners of your house.
They're surrounded. Yeah, we could talk about gridding.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. So crystals are amazing. You can get big pieces like this. You can wear them as beads on your body, your person. You can get them polished. You can get them little wee. You can get them really big. I mean, there's all sorts of different crystals.
And they carry different energies. So she was just holding up rose quartz, which is a beautiful, gentle, soft, loving energy. And there's a bunch of crystals behind you too.
Yeah.
This is my meditation room, and so there's crystals everywhere in here.
And I would say, I don't see one, but clear quartz.
Oh yeah. No, I have selenite over there. I don't have any
selenite is great too, because and here's the thing: when you buy crystals, you need to clear the energy of those crystals, especially if you get them in a shop. You don't know how many people have picked it up. It again absorbs energy, so I think selenite is a really good one to help clear.
Citrine will charge. You can clear them under the moon, new moon, and full moon. You can charge them. You can use sound to clear them. You can use sunlight to clear them. I mean, there's a lot of ways you can clear.
And I would say that holds true if you buy any oracle cards, anything else. You just want to clear because you want to infuse it with your energy. And so, again, that's a ritual sometimes too. When you put your energy into some of these other things. Lighting candles. Here's a white candle. And again, depending on what type of ritual you're doing, there are different types. But again, I personally would avoid scented candles. If you can go with unscented candles, I think it just helps. And then isn't there something where you're not supposed to blow out the candle?
Yeah. So if you are trying to use the candle for manifestation specifically, you are either, sending your wishes out into the universe. You kind of pull up on that candle as you're sending them out. Or if you are trying to release something, you can kind of be pulling it back into the earth. So as you're setting your intention, kind of use that motion on the candle to, again, infuse the candle with whatever that intention is. And then if you are trying to do a clearing or setting a manifestation, you don't want to blow it out because it's like blowing out your wishes. So instead, you would want to find a way to douse, like whether you have a snuffer, is that what it's called?
I think you have one. I have several
over there, or like you kind of cover it and snuff it out that way versus trying to use your breath to blow it out. Again, that just helps kind of ground in that intention and makes it special.
So should we cover talk about the bigger rituals, like the moon rituals, or do we just want to talk about everyday rituals?
I mean, we'll talk about it all. So if we have a new moon coming up, we can talk about some new moon and then full moon rituals.
Okay.
Is there anything that you like to do for new moons?
Well, I always try to do a specific meditation.
Okay.
There's people that put out meditations for new moons full moons, eclipses, etc. So I always seek them out and do a meditation, and then we'll set intention depending on what it is. If it's for releasing, I may journal to find something or things that I want to release and let go of. Vice versa, if I'm manifesting and trying to bring in something new, same thing. Journaling, I think, is great. I will often light a candle or incense as I'm doing that. And I just, after my meditation, I just sit in quiet and, again, put out whatever I'm trying to put out, and give it a little bit of time, and then I end it with "so it is," and I move on.
Yeah, that's
How
great.
about you?
Yeah, so for new moons, I like to write a list of 10 maybe things I'm trying to manifest or intentions for that new moon, seeds I'm trying to plant, and to give them a little extra boost. You don't have to do this, but to give them a little extra boost, put them around whatever that sign that the moon is in. So we have our new moon in Leo. So I would set intention around creativity and self-expression and self-love and having more play in my life, whatever that looks like. Write them down, and then I might go burn them, burn the list under the new moon, setting those intentions, putting them out there. You can speak to your water. So you could get a glass of water or a jug of water, and with my hands around it and infusing that water with energy, I might speak my intentions to that water and then leave it out overnight, cover it so that it is charged by that new moon. And then I can either, go about the next few days drinking it or bathing, like adding it to my bath and bathe in it. I don't like baths, so I don't really take a lot of baths, but bathe in it type of thing. So those can be some fun ways to set those intentions for the new moon.
Yeah, I also do, for both new moon, full moon, I will do a tarot spread.
Oh, yeah.
To see and understand whether it's what am I releasing or what am I manifesting. And so I have a ritual book. Nice. And so I follow that, which is great. I love it.
Yeah. For full moons, those are about release, endings, completion, culminations. So it might be, again, writing that list of what do I want to release, let go of. And then again, a fire sign, I like to burn things, so I'll burn that. You can, again, charge your water with what you want to release. However, I would not drink that water, nor would I bathe in it if you're trying to get rid of it. You could charge the water with your release intentions and then go water your garden or pour the water outside. I would not drink anything you're trying to release, and I would not bathe in what you're trying to release from that perspective. But, get rid of that water elsewhere once it's full of what you're ready to release and let go of, anything you're trying to let go of. And again, if it's around that moon sign, it gives it a little bit of an extra boost. So in a couple weeks, we'll have the full moon in Aquarius, and Aquarius energy can be around like the overactive mind. It can be around letting go of fear of technology or the fear of the future or advancements. It can be about letting go of needless rebellion. From that perspective. So there's a lot that can go into that you would, kind of boost for yourself, if it makes sense. But it doesn't have to be around that sign. It can be anything you're trying to let go of. So don't limit yourself. Yep. It just gives you a little extra boost if you want to do that.
Well, and I think other areas that are big, eclipses, retrogrades, like I said, specific portals, and it kind of depends on what the portal is, I think, of where you focus.
Yeah, 11/11 is a big portal, like November 11th. Your birthday.
My birthday.
I
get to manifest every year. I make lots of wishes.
Yeah, that is a big manifestation portal. So think of it like you're going through a doorway. Those 11s make that doorway into your new life. So it's a big manifestation portal. 8/8, August 8th, is another big portal for setting intention around abundance. Like the abundance you're creating and bringing in, that 8, because the 8
and that's
is related
real close,
to,
y'all. It's coming up.
That 8 is related to having abundance in our lives. So that's a big one to use for that. Eclipses, we don't typically try to manifest on.
You don't want to do that.
It's more about setting those intentions around being open to receiving whatever energy is coming in and whatever energy is leaving. So eclipses bring about sudden change. Solar eclipses, it's often something new coming into our lives, and lunar eclipses is something exiting our lives. And the common theme with both types of eclipses is there's some drama that pops up. So setting the intention around being open to receive the new of what's coming in and being open and ready to release whatever might be exiting, and just sort of like grounding in and riding that wave of whatever it might be.
And I think there's, Dana mentioned doing her list of 10 things. Well, sometimes if you're like me, it's your mind goes blank and you're like, I don't know, all the things. You can also set the intention of whatever's for your greatest and highest good to come through. And to me, it's a little bit like cheating. It's like a catch-all.
It's not cheating
and everything
at all.
It's not specific, but...
yeah, you don't have to, like, again, I think if you're open... Yeah, let the universe surprise you. Mm-hmm. Show me how good it could be. Mm-hmm. Show me how fun this is. Show me what's for my best good. Yeah. You know, and then not being tied to any one particular outcome.
I would also say in that same vein, try not to be overly specific. Like, for example, if you said, I want $1 million, okay, fine. But what if you could have gotten 2 or 3 or 4? Like you're kind of limiting yourself. And maybe, I don't know if that's a good or bad example, but it's like you want to say this or something better.
Yeah.
This or something better.
Always end it with this or better.
Yeah. Because that way it's like you have something in your head, but maybe you haven't even thought of
we're
how
limited.
Great it could be.
Our human self is a limited being. Our brains are limited to what they already know. Yeah. So being open to things I haven't even considered that might be even better.
Yep. Love it.
Let's talk about some clearing rituals.
Okay.
I like this one. So let's say if you're feeling like stuck or kind of low vibe, and maybe you don't even know why you're feeling that, or you're going through something tough in life. This is a good one just as an energy check as well, is that you would take a lime and holding it vertically. I don't have an example, but the lime is vertical. You want to cut it into quarters, but not all the way through. Leave it still attached at the base of the lime.
Like a cross at the bottom, right?
Like an X or like it's like an X, but you've cut it that way. And then kind of peel it open and then put it on a dish and sprinkle sea salt in with it. And you can even throw in some rosemary if you want, but sea salt and the lime, and you put it under your bed and leave it under your bed for 24 hours. After 24 hours, pull the lime out and see what it looks like. If the lime looks pretty much the same, pretty pristine as it did the day before, it can be a little bit, like because it's been out and exposed to the air. But if it looks pretty clean, then your energy is pretty clean. Like you're pretty good. However, if it looks like it's really decayed very quickly overnight, that lime and that salt is pulling negative energy out of you. So I would toss that lime in the trash with the intention that it's going back to the earth.
Outside trash, though. Don't throw it in your kitchen trash.
Yeah, not in your kitchen.
You don't want to hang on to anything that you're releasing in your house. You want to take it outside.
Yeah, take it outside. And from that perspective, it's like, it's pulled that energy out of you. So then do the lime again for the next 24 hours. Like keep doing it until that lime looks pretty clean. And then your energy has been cleaned. And you can, again, if you have a spouse, you can put it under your spouse's side of the bed if you think they're, or your children, just to sort of do you can do it as an energy check for yourself, or just like, there's something that needs to be cleared and released, that lime and that salt is going to pull it out.
Can I tell you my favorite ritual?
Please.
That I used a lot when I was working. Because, when you work, there's a lot of different personalities and you don't get along with everyone.
And we're not meant to.
And there are people that maybe you have to work closely with, but it kills
a struggle.
you. It's a struggle. So one of my favorite rituals that I found worked quite successfully was when you want these people, maybe they're harping on you or they're constantly emailing you or whatever it is, and you're like, I need them to back off. I need them to calm down, or you need them to chill out. So what you do is you write their name on a piece of paper, and I got these little they do these ice cubes, like you can fill round balls. Like a lot of times you do them for drinks.
But you could use like a plastic water
can use
bottle.
Whatever. I used that, put their name in it, filled it with water, and you put their name in the freezer. And it's just to help them chill out. It's not going to hurt anybody. But I did that with 3 different people. And it took a minute, but then all of a sudden the people that were constantly either driving me crazy, all of a sudden I'm like, well, I haven't heard from them in a while. Or now we're like BFFs. Like, how did that happen, right? So that's a really simple, easy ritual that you can do that
we call it putting them in the freezer.
Very harmless, that just helps them chill out a little bit.
Yes, and with all the rituals we talk about, this is never to do harm to any person.
Good call.
This is never in any way of revenge or any negative energy. You don't want to put that out there. That's not what we're trying to do. It's really about just creating your peace within yourself. So again, as she said, putting someone in the freezer does not harm them. It just kind of creates some space between you and that person. Gets them to chill out, literally, or back off or back up a little bit. And again, like somehow I've watched these relationships, like they think you're their best friend.
Yeah, it changed significantly. Another ritual that you can do if you're trying to get people to like you is you use honey, sweeten them up. And I think it's a similar one where you put their name on a piece of paper.
Name on a piece of paper in a jar.
With honey.
With honey. And fill it with honey.
And you put it in the cabinet and see.
Let them steep in the sweetness.
Yep. We have a friend who was very successful at that with her job. So
it's like, I want a promotion, put my boss's name in the sweet jar. I'm up for promotion. They love me now.
That's
right.
Very
sweet. Yeah.
So those are some easy little rituals to do.
And they're fun. And again, we're just like, just see what happens.
Yeah.
Like, just do it and see what happens. But again, there's no intention of any harm for any of
Absolutely
these folks.
not.
No. Mm-mm.
So if you're like, I really hate this person, don't. Again, sweeten them.
Yeah, you can sweeten them.
Maybe you're not friends. Sweeten them up or put them in the freezer.
Or put them in the freezer.
Yeah.
But there's no hexes. There's no curses. There's none of that going on.
That's bad juju.
Yeah. I don't want to bring any of that into my life.
Now, what about, I can't speak to this, but what about any love rituals, Dana?
Oh my gosh. So I have done some crazy things in the name of,
calling in,
but really like preparing myself to receive a romantic or loving relationship. And one of the first things is to cut any cords, and we're talking about psychic or energetic cords from past relationships that might be holding you back. So whether you're living in the past or reliving and, oh, I should have said this, or I should have done this, or I wish it could have worked out differently, whatever that might be, the should haves in your head. I think it's important to cut those cords. Now you can do it very simply, or you can do it really complex.
Let's see, which did you choose,
Which
Dana?
did I choose? I mean, I've done them all, but this was something that I'm like, I can't believe I did this. I got a spell from a lovely healer as well. So this was, and it's from like American witchcraft kind of things, right? So it's like there's the whole book. It's like fun things to do. So this involved getting black walnuts, specifically boiling them to turn the boiled water to be like infused with the black walnuts, pouring that black walnut water, not the walnuts, the water into a bathtub, like fill the bathtub, pour in this like little pot of water, get in and bathe yourself in the black walnut water. And then when you get up, you're supposed to air dry. You're not supposed to towel it off. You're just supposed to air dry so that you can infuse yourself with that black walnut stuff. Then you get a knife with a white handle specifically. So if you don't have a white handle on that knife, you can tape it with white tape. And then you like imagine yourself cutting the cords around your body with this white knife. Then, not done yet, you need to take the knife and throw it in a trash can away from your house. So I had to go like find somebody else's trash can to throw this in. Then you drive to a crossroads, which in modern day is basically like an intersection. Again, away from your house, not one that you normally go through. So you want to kind of get yourself out of the way, one that you don't ever normally pass or wouldn't ever normally use in the middle of the night, by the way, like after dark. And you take a cup full of that walnut bath water and you pour it out in the crossroads. I did this like 10 years ago, people. So that's, and then you can go on about your life and you've cut those cords. Again, no harm to those past relationships.
Have we lost you yet? Because I'm a little flabbergasted.
So I'm here to try anything and everything. And I was like, well, why not? Why not try it? Like, okay, let's see. Let's make sure I'm clear of energy for all of that. So yeah, I mean, I've done it all.
We just have to call it right now. Is 333 our time? So
it's my number.
It's her number, and she's telling her story.
I'm telling my funny
what's
story.
up?
They're like, yeah, we think you're crazy too.
Yeah, they're like, you didn't have to do that.
No, you don't. You can set the intention, like you can imagine yourself with a knife cutting cords.
Yeah.
You can ask Archangel Michael to borrow his flaming sword, and
That one's a fun one.
that's a fun one. You can ask him to cut the cords around you, or you can cut them yourself. And this isn't just with relationships, romantic. This can be any difficult relationships. There are energy vampires out there who like just kind of suck and absorb your energy. So cutting cords and making sure
be other family members.
Can be other family members, can be friends, can be anything. So this spell ritual that I did was specific for romantic relationships.
How'd that work out?
I mean, I think I'd already healed from those relationships anyway, so I don't think it really mattered. And I have since dated other guys.
Yeah.
Again, this was like 10 years ago. So I don't think
Just making sure.
Yeah.
Right?
Like I kind of felt, I mean, for me, I was laughing at myself the whole night I was doing this. I thought it was hilarious. But again, I'm gonna not leave any stone unturned.
Yeah.
If I'm working on myself and doing my healing, I'm gonna try everything.
I will say rituals with friends is really fun.
The most fun.
We will do where you write intentions on bay leaves, and then we burn those. It's just fun to get a fire going outside. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, we just like to burn things.
Yeah, we do like to burn
We
things.
like to use gold and silver Sharpies, like make them magical. Bay leaves burn very quickly. So one, be careful. Fire safety.
Yes.
You can burn your fingers. So hold them with the tongs or something. But they will burn up really quick. So that's for like quick manifestation.
Yep.
Which is super fun.
There's I meant to bring it birthday boxes.
Oh yeah.
That you can have rituals for your birthday. I don't have all the specifics, but that's really fun, and they're actually really fun gifts too.
Yeah.
I think you can create these little ritual boxes for friends. There's gridding.
Yeah. So I like to grid my house.
I have as well.
Clear quartz and rose quartz and tourmaline. And I put them in every corner of the house. And that's just to, the tourmaline helps transmute any negative energy. The rose quartz is about infusing the space with love. And then clear quartz just amplifies all of that. So protection and love. I put amethyst by my entryways of my house, so my front door and my back door. Anytime I'm coming or going, or guests are coming and going, those doors that we use. And setting that intention, and even imagining the violet flame of transmutation sort of showering down in that doorway space so that it clears the energy of anyone entering my house and anyone leaving my house. And I cannot tell you how many times people will come over and be like, oh, I just love the way your house feels. I just love the energy of your house. And I'm like, yes, because I take care of my house. I set that intention that they're cleared when they come in, that I'm cleared when I come in, and that space is filled with protection and loving energy. And then whenever I do sage or Palo Santo the space, I am setting the intention that is filled with me and my loving, presence and joy. So it's a big compliment for me with anyone comes in and says, oh, I love how your house feels.
And we kind of went back to crystals. I will say I also had tourmaline at work.
Oh yeah, by your computer.
For negative energy. And again, if you have an office, I think it's great. Just again, you're trying to keep your space sacred. And there's just a lot of energy that comes in and out when you're in an office space.
Yeah. And that's why we wear them too. When you go out in the world, go to the grocery store, you can be walking by, somebody's having a bad day. As an empath, and I think many people are, especially if you're listening, you probably are as well, that you can sense and feel other people's emotions. And for a long time, I would pick that up and think it was mine. And so I just, with the intention with the crystals I wear, is that I am just being more mindful that I'm keeping my energy clean. My bubble of light is kind of like, again, a little bit of that barrier where I can sense and feel and understand what's going on around me, but I don't have to pick it up and carry it at home with me.
Yeah, I try to never leave the house without tourmaline on.
Yeah. And again, any black crystal works for that. So whether it's obsidian or shungite or onyx, yeah, any of those black colored crystals are great for it. Protection.
And shungite's great to help with EMF too.
Yes.
Just randomly. We start talking about crystals.
I'm telling you, they're the gateway drug to all of this.
I love crystals. Yeah. And
they're the weed of metaphysics.
If you haven't been to Sedona, My gosh. You want to talk about your metaphysical capital of the world.
It's a lot.
So good.
It's a lot. Let's talk a little bit about, when we talked about love, that was cutting cords from old love, but we can also talk about mirror work and, again, setting intention for loving yourself.
Yes, I haven't done a ton of mirror work.
So a lot of it is, it's very simple. It is just looking at yourself in the mirror, in the eyes. And then you can say different affirmations of whatever you're working on. So whether that's, I love you, you're beautiful, I'm proud of you, any affirmations that you're working on, but really just like looking at yourself in the eye, like you're looking at your soul, and really making sure body work is good for that. So if you have any like, oh, I don't love my body right now. Well, it's really like looking at your body, standing in front of the mirror naked and being like, I don't see the flaws, really focusing
instead
on the
of
good things.
picking apart all the things you don't like, also a good, because again, your body made up of water, it's listening.
Yeah.
Even if there's things you don't like about your body, find the things you do like. I love my eyes. I love my hair. I have great hands. I don't know, whatever it is, but it's finding the positive in that too.
Yeah. I am a little bit triggered when anyone calls our physical form, like you hear a lot of like meat suit. I don't like that because our bodies are very miraculous when you think about it and how it processes energy and how it processes food. These are our vehicles for our soul to be in this existence. And so really trying to honor that. And now my body's not perfect and there's definitely things I would change. I am still always like in awe of what it does to get me through a day. And how is it functioning perfectly? No, but I'm doing the best I can to like take care of it because I want to know, my body consciousness to know that I love it and I want to take care of it. And so I'm really trying to redirect any negative talk instead of focusing on the cellulite. I'm like, oh, I can see some muscle definition. I love the way my muscle looks when, I walk or this movement, like I'm starting to see it come through. So, and really trying to honor the body as the sacred consciousness that it is versus don't call it a meat suit. It's not a meat suit. Let's get rid of that vocabulary out of human consciousness.
Well, I know we talked about you have a morning ritual. I'm a little more loosey-goosey because I, again, as a projector, I get up at different times depending on the sleep I need. But I would say my ritual every morning, I try to do at least a short meditation. It could be 10 minutes up to 25. A tarot card and sometimes an oracle card. And all I do is I ask, what's the energy look like for today? Or what is it that I need to know for today? I love playing with cards. That's how I get a lot of my messages. I don't, that I'm aware of, can't yet see, even though I'm clairvoyant, supposedly, I don't see things in front of me. So when I connect with my guides, they often will give me messages through cards. And so I love getting a card. And it also makes me feel very connected to them. And just feeling like we're having a conversation, like a friend. So that I love doing that in the mornings. And sometimes I don't always get in the morning, but it happens at some point during the day, but preferably in the morning, again, to set the intention for the day.
Yeah. And what you said earlier, it doesn't have to be long. Yeah. It can still be really powerful.
Yeah. And I think getting into the habit of doing that, again, it's just also trying to protect my energy and elevate my frequency.
Yeah. I love that.
Good. Let's see. Any other?
Have there been any, I think it's good to remember with any of these rituals is that we're not trying to force the outcome. That as part of any, just existing really is letting go and detaching from it, from an emotional perspective, from a mental perspective. So especially with like intention setting and manifestation, it's like I put it out there and now I have to trust and believe and let it go, and it will show up in divine timing. And I'm not going to try to force a particular thing or an outcome, because then you're just like giving yourself frustration in that. The universe knows exactly when to deliver on time for you.
We as humans really like to control things.
Well, yeah, the human mind, that's the way it feels safe, is when it feels in control. And it's just an illusion.
For sure. So I think to your point, just when you put it out there, let it go. And you don't know, because time doesn't exist. You don't know when it's going to happen. It may feel like years to you, but it could be tomorrow. It like, you just don't know.
Yeah.
And so let go of, and also when you're manifesting, really try not to put a time constraint. Oh, this is the other thing I want to call out in rituals, because my friend the other day said this: when you're putting out your manifestation, don't say, I will have this, I will have that, because again, that's the future, and the future is always the future. It's never today. And so when you're setting those intentions, act as if it's happening right now.
Yeah. State it in the present moment.
Yeah. Yeah, because that was something that I take for granted because I just know. But when she said, oh, well, then I've been saying all the time, well, when this takes off or when this happens, I'm like, oh, no, don't do that.
Well, when is always in the future.
That's right.
Will is always in the future.
Yeah.
I want it now.
Yeah. So always assume the present moment.
Yeah. And embody that energy now.
Yes. Let's see.
I think we covered.
I think so too.
Pretty much all
What
of
do
it.
you guys think? Do you have any rituals that you abide by or do, or maybe you didn't even realize it was a ritual?
Yeah, think about it now. You might
And
be doing a
now-
ritual you don't even realize.
That's right.
Like, we would love to hear about it. So drop those in the comments.
That's
Or
right.
if there were any rituals that we shared that you want to do, call that out too.
Yeah, if you want a ritual for something in particular, you can also leave a message in the comments for us, and we'll get back to you. Let's do a affirmation.
All right, go for it.
So an affirmation for rituals: my energy is sacred, my intention is powerful, my rituals are portals.
Beautiful.
And we will
Pull a quick card. Pull a quick card.
I don't know what it's going to be about, but
We're going to
we'll
just
see.
ask what's the energy going on this week for everybody.
Okay. What do people need to know?
What do they need to know?
There
Oh,
it is.
it flew out.
Okay. I think I know what it is. Yes. Oh, I love this picture. The card is purity.
It's a white wolf.
White wolf.
Over
Two different colored eyes.
two different colored eyes over evergreens, snow-covered evergreens.
Yeah.
And what does it say?
It says purity. And to me, this is just, again, about setting your intention with love and for the highest good. It could be for your highest good, the highest good of all. But I think we're at a time now where anything that we do is to raise the vibration as a whole. And so rituals can even be done to help. There are people who I would say, I call it a ritual, where they're doing sending love at like a certain time. You could connect with all your friends and say at 7 p.m. at this time, let's all just give a burst of love to the collective. That can be a ritual that you could do every week. I know, I think Pam Gregory was doing that like on Sundays, and just helping to raise the collective, because the faster we raise the vibration, the faster things come to fruition. And so if we are the way showers, the wayfinder, I don't know, you know what I'm saying. We're leading the way. All right. So how can we help bring that into fruition faster? And I think it's just when I get this, I get pure of heart, staying true, leading the way. Cause again, wolves are very intuitive, and especially you can blend in. A white wolf in the snow blends in, but they know where they're going, and they can find what they need even through a forest of crazy.
I like that. That's a good reading.
Yeah. Anything you want to add to that?
No, I think that sums it up. Yeah.
All right. Well, this was fun. Love talking about rituals.
Yeah.
And again, would love to hear from you guys, and we look forward to seeing you next time.
Bye.
See ya.
Thanks for catching up with us on the Cosmic Catch Up. If today's episode sparked something in your soul, hit subscribe, leave a review, and share the magic with your fellow seekers. You can hang with us on Instagram at the Cosmic Catch Up for behind the scenes updates and more cosmic goodness.
And if you're feeling the call to go deeper, we offer personal guidance through our individual practices. All the details are in the show notes. And if it's aligned, we trust you'll feel it. Until next time, keep following the magic. The content we share reflects our personal experiences, insights, and opinions. We're not medical, legal, or financial professionals, and we encourage you to always do your own research, trust your intuition, and seek guidance from qualified experts when needed. Take what resonates and leave the rest. This journey is yours to explore.